as usual it happened that after the first season, नहीं वो TRP जो है वो soaps की तरह इसकी TRP नहीं है. TRP is not as good, you know. So sometimes what happens is when you're slightly, I feel you're doing something which is slightly ahead of times, in a way, not ahead of times where the world is concerned, but India. So you have a little problems. But I was very, very passionate, very committed to it. And that's what I've done in my career, always. That I've done things which I instinctively feel that I should do it, not really following the trend. And this is the trend. नहीं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि instinctively this is the right thing to do. This is great storytelling. And I go for it. And that's the way I've done 24, which is almost more than 10 years back. And then I've done night managing. So a lot of other shows also which you offered. And then suddenly everybody said that, we want to do a show, we want to do something like 24, And suddenly that became a kind of a reference point for everybody. But when I was doing, I had a lot of, it was very tough for me to make that show. And then again, Night Manager was an adaptation. They bought the rights. The same people had bought the rights who had asked me not to buy the rights. Why are you buying the rights? And they had bought the rights. And I think they had paid more than what I had paid. So how things change. And now everything is done. I think we are doing something together, which is hopefully will be something as exciting as 24 and Night Manager. Do you want to say anything? I've said my take on my journey of technology changing and then going with my gut, going with my instinct, and having the right people around you also makes a lot of difference. Keep all the people around you, your team, and who backs you, who gives you the right advice, and doesn't misguide you. अरे मत करना यार, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Copy कर लेते हैं, without rights कर लेते हैं. That's not the way. For longer run, this is not the way to do business. This is not the way. If you want to stay relevant and to stay, now that people call you to speak about it, that means you have to be done. Everything has to be done very ethically, very honestly, and everybody should get the due. And you should be fair. Being fair in business, I think, and in creativity also is the key. वो वक्त था जब बड़े filmmakers ने they had given statements and said कि मुझे वाले actor कभी successful नहीं होते. And because most of the successful stars and actors are without the mustache. And I was cocky at that time, so I would say Charlie Chaplin, Raj Kapoor, Clark Gable, all these guys, all these great actors have been with the mustache. And then of course you were about the stubble part of it. Stubble became so people would identify me with the stubble because I started the stubble not because I just felt because I wanted to do those kind of roles which were the macho roles, which are the alpha Romeo kind of, not Romeo, alpha male kind of roles, which now has become very popular after Hannibal. But I was doing those kind of those roles I wanted to do, and I had a very when people felt that I'm a very small and a very baby face, so I had the stubble for everything. So if there's a action film, I would have a stubble. Romantic film, I would have a stubble. Mystery, I had a stubble. I'm playing a lawyer, I had a stubble. So that became, and I used to have this beard. And I remember senior actors who were very close to me. They said, "तेरे पास काम वाम नहीं है क्या? दाढ़ी हुआ के घूम रहा है." और आज हर actor दाढ़ी के साथ है. तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि उसके पास काम नहीं है. Well, my first job was for Doordarshan. My first paycheck was for Doordarshan, 250 rupees. There was a Doordarshan office in Worli. I remember traveling there by bus and going there and performing for Doordarshan. And the first, popular film thing was Chaya Geet, where songs were shown. And that became very, very popular. So that was the news. People would watch news and then the Chaya Geet started. Chitrahar, Chaya Geet, all those kind of things. The radio was huge. God bless his soul, Amin Saini Saab, who left us. But I remember meeting him and you know, and we would promote our films.